Shadowman will be a third-person, real-time 3D action-adventure with the player's point of view being predominantly from above and behind his/her polygonal, realistically texture-mapped on-screen character, utilizing a dynamic camera a la Mario 64 to track the character throughout. Our proprietary 3D engine pushes back the envelope of technology into a brave new 3D world. The ubiquitous fogging of depth queue, so prevalent in other games of this ilk and used to cover up the inadequacies of other 3D engines, forcing the games generated by them into dingy tunnel-based interiors, will be used solely for atmospheric effect and not to obscure the fact that the engine cannot encompass a complete external landscape. In this way, our state-of-the-art 3D technology will, quite literally, allow us out into the fresh air to see as far as the horizon. In order to achieve the above, our 3D engine uses binary space partition, or BSP trees, and potential visible sets. The BSP trees allow us to discard large chunks of the in-game 3D environment very quickly. This means that for every large polygon model, the time spent actually drawing and displaying that model within the player's camera view is considerably reduced. For example, if our model is the entire city of New York, we can very quickly discard all the parts of the city that the player can't see. Coupled with the BSP trees, we have potential visible sets. These further enable us to quickly discard anything in the player's camera view cone that is hidden by a closer model part or part of the environment. Basically, what all this means is that the player will be able to see a long way into the distance without the need for an obscuring depth queuing fog, and the player will also be able to explore a larger and more detailed 3D world than anything out there in the current and hopefully future marketplace. But a great game isn't just about new technology. A great game marries technological advancement with fulfilling gameplay. With Shadowman, we intend to develop a unique, three-dimensional interactive experience with enough high-adventure gameplay to satisfy both the Twitch player and the less twitchy, more cerebral gamer. This will be achieved by implementing multiple routes to a variety of fulfilling goals, not punishing the player, but assisting him or her while still keeping the game a challenging experience. Shadowman's structure will be split into two distinct gaming environments, each of which will have a differing style of play. This split has been designed to remain faithful to the original Shadowman comic book license, in that Shadowman is a walker between the worlds, with the aforementioned worlds being our plane of existence, live side, and a limbo-like place known as dead side. To this end, rather than forcing our hero down a series of predetermined branching routes governed by a series of item-driven puzzles, we have decided to structure Shadowman by using elements such as those employed within the highly playable and perennially successful Nintendo classics Mario and Legend of Zelda. In this way, the player may freely guide the game character between the two worlds as they explore a gradually expanding game universe. This, we also believe, is the best way to take advantage of the sense of freedom that an unrestricted 3D engine will allow, and provide a far more interesting and challenging experience for the player, ensuring considerably more replay value than the straightforward linear or branching adventure. Gameplay will, like Tomb Raider, be fundamentally exploratory across 20+ levels. But unlike the latter game, we will also involve the player in seeking out a wide variety of quest objects that are of integral use in the game. Objects that will imbue the player character with extra in-game abilities and therefore allow a high degree of interaction with the environment. Most of the levels in the game will involve a spectacular set piece, with gameplay in those levels largely based around that set piece. Imagine fully explorable buildings clinging to the walls of a sheer-sided canyon, or finding and entering a ship of the dead the size of a house, and the ship taking off while the player is still inside. With the technology at our disposal, these are both now possible. We want to inspire in the player the same degree of awe that the vast overhead Star Destroyer in Star Wars opening sequence and the mammoth alien ship above New York in Independence Day inspired in their audiences. We want to bring an epic sense of scale to the video game medium, to allow the seamless transition between the seemingly endless expanse of a dead-side desert and the gigantic interior of a mile-high citadel. Weapons, as is becoming standard fare in games of this type, will be both numerous and unique. They will range from a standard automatic pistol to a shadowgun that fires Raiders of the Lost Ark style shrieking raids. Weapons will be used to destroy at least 20 enemy types, from the gators infesting the Louisiana swamp through shambling corpulent zombies to the bestial victims of the loup-garou. All enemies will be polygonal and will have differing detail levels dependent on their distance from the player character, thereby allowing more of them on screen at any one time. In order to seek out these enemies wherever they may be in the game environment, the player character will be able to look both up and down. The player character will also be able to run, jump, swim, perform a variety of well-animated acrobatic moves, and at a certain point in the game, the player character will also be able to fly. Secret areas will be hidden in the game environment, thereby adding to the replay value. The game environment itself will be highly detailed, inasmuch as it will bear closer scrutiny than most games of this ilk, with background details such as birds, fish, snakes, etc., a variety of animated swamp-dwelling fauna to further enhance the realism of this true 3D world.